All right, everybody. Terrence Popp here with another episode of Live from the Lair. And today, I am going to do my usual tradition. When I was a first sergeant, and I had soldiers going through personal problems, divorce, what have you, I would usually call them into my office after hours, pour the soldier a shot of whatever I had in the office. I didn't give a shit if they were 21 or not. If they're wearing the uniform and they could die for their country, they could fucking drink with me anytime. And I gave this briefing to a lot of the soldiers under my guidance and care because they didn't know what the hell was going to happen to them. All right. Yeah, they were getting divorced. Things were going crazy, but they didn't really understand how the whole process works and how it affects you. And I made it a habit to brief people as soon as I heard they're getting divorced on what to expect, what feelings they're going to have, and, there's going to be anger. And we call it red pill rage. Back then, I just called it rage or just general anger. A lot of guys got divorced, were pissed off for a good 3, maybe 5 years after the fact. I'm no different. I got it. But this counseling session is going out to Mr. Crowder. I have been watching on the tubes all of the crazy shit that's coming down, and it looks like it's pretty much going down by the numbers, if you know what I mean. Bear with me.
Are you the kind of person who's run out of feelings to hurt?
Please send all of your hate mail to my ass, because I don't care.
Then we have the Redonkulas swag for you. And we have multiple locations where you can get it. Go to the Stream Elements store or Crypto Fashion and embrace your inner fat punisher. Because after all,
there's a little bad pop in all of us. Even your mother.
Shirts, stickers, mugs, and hats are on sale now. Your support helps keep us independent from big tech and keeps this life-saving train on the tracks. Links are in the Meat Gazer box.
Let me see what's going on here. Okay, first of all, I have to say this about Mr. Steven Crowder. I respect you. I agree with much of what you're saying, not everything. Mainly because, anyone who agrees 100% with anyone, pretty much you're starting a cult, or you have the mentality of a cult follower. I am not that person. Okay, now, you have done a lot of good on the internet by fighting the establishment and, in my opinion, the corrupt sellout government that we have leading us at this time. In fact, we have the best government money can buy. Unfortunately, the taxpayers who fund our government can no longer afford it. But that's another video.
Fuck Congress.
Now, I got to look at that home security video, and it was very unflattering. But, in your defense, and any other man out there in their defense as well, we are just men. We are human beings, and we are all by nature flawed in some way. That doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It just means you have something different that somebody else doesn't have. All right. In my younger days, mine was anger. And I controlled most of that anger by climbing in the ring and kicking the shit out of people. Constructively, and I was paid for it quite handsomely a few times. All right. But, that's neither here nor there. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes. All right. You married this woman, right? I'm sure you did everything in your power to vet her. You were in it to win it. I got it. I was the same way when the bad shit happened to me. But welcome to current year, where women get paid handsomely for breaking a contract, i.e. the marriage contract. And you, Mr. Crowder, you are about to be waylaid by the laws of the current century. And all you have left to defend yourself with are the laws of the early 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s, when a lot of this barbaric divorce law shit was put into effect. All right, that's the equivalent of you marching out against a modern army with black powder muskets and horse-drawn cannons. It's not going to work out for you. All right, you're going to have to fight dirty. You're going to have to get mean. And quite frankly, your ex-wife is now your goddamn enemy. Now, I know you don't want to hear this, Mr. Crowder. I got it. I'm just being honest here. You're getting the first sergeant talking to.
You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers. I will teach you.
You are in your 40s, I imagine, and I hope you stay on this planet for a good long time. But your happiness in the future is all going to revolve around how medieval you want to get to win your share of time with your children. Because the list behind me, through 33 years in the military, is pretty much how it unfolded for all of the dudes that I gave this briefing to. All right, Mr. Crowder. Number one, character assassination.
Oh, my God! Ah!
This happens almost every time. A divorce is happening. The woman then spreads all kinds of rumors. He's abusive, and turns your friends and family against you because she wants to put the pressure on you. She wants you to fold and cave. You have 2 children now that are very, very young. And for their sake, you can't do that. You got to roll up your sleeves. I understand you were married to her. Maybe you still love her. I don't know. But effectively, she is now the enemy. You have to make that determination in your head. Otherwise, you're going to get paved over like I-75, and it's not going to be pretty.
That doesn't sound good.
Number 2, blame, shame, and guilt. All right, again, the soon-to-be ex blames you for stuff. It's your fault. You didn't do this. You didn't come home. You're always working. You get mad. Whatever. It's blame and shame, and what they're trying to do is get you to feel guilty or feel shame, so you'll be more pliable to, give her the stuff that she wants. Listen, I fought this fight. I know what I'm talking about. Number 3, if you put up a fight, they're going to do everything in their power to destroy you. And the first thing they do, above blame and shame and character assassination, are false allegations. All right, a lot of times, listen, I don't know your exact net worth. I'm sure it's pretty okay. But unfortunately, if you review the cases or you read the news clips about celebrity divorces, when there's a lot of money on the line, false allegations always come up. Case in point, Jolie and Brad Pitt. She made a bunch of bullshit allegations, and he didn't see his kids for over 4 years. All right, that is what's going to happen. And this is pretty much the big stick they're going to try to hold over your head to get you to comply.
This should be illegal.
All right. Destruction, disappearance of your sentimental or important shit. I have talked to probably a good 70, 80, soldiers, servicemen, whatever you want to call it, who, they come home. They can't go in the house because there's an emergency protection order for bullshit. So they have to go somewhere else. And while that's happening, his service records are shredded. His medical records were burned. The digital copies of all his records were deleted and then erased with bleach bit. Hillary Clinton knows how that works. And just royally screwed this guy's life. All right. Or I've had a guy had the ring and a watch from his great-great-grandfather who was at the Little Bighorn and got whacked. You know, he left that at home. It was in a case. He got, you know, a protection order. That shit disappeared. And to him, those items were priceless. All right. Like I said, you need to treat her like an enemy because that is exactly what she's going to do to you. So my advice, Mr. Crowder, is this. Get all of your sentimental shit out of that house. Get all of your documents. Make copies. Take them to several different locations because, you know, I think that's going to happen. I mean, she already released private footage from your own security cameras to make you look bad. Do you still think I'm fucking with you here? I'm not. I want to see you succeed and continue on with what you're doing because we need it desperately.
He's not wrong.
All right, you can expect to lose 1/2 of all your shit. All of that hard work you did, all of those hills you climbed, all of the risks you took to get the amount of money you have, assets, what have you. Well, she's going to walk off with 1/2 of that. That's the nature of the beast. Now, bear with me. You're still a young man. You can make that money back, but don't ever get married again. It is a fool's game. You are an alpha guy. You have the looks, the height, the money, the career, the status. And look what's happening. Don't get married again. It will not end well.
They would have to be absolute idiots to do that.
You've been married to her for about 6 years. As a betting man, I am betting on her trying to go for Alice isn't horny any more money for the rest of her life or your life. That is shitty. Plain and simple. I find it reprehensible that you divorce a woman for whatever reason and you're still required to put her in the basically same status of living she had when she was married to you. That's an example of one of those laws that they put on the books in the early 1900s that they're still using in 2022 for the mere purpose of fucking you in the ass. Okay. So this is going to be tough. Hopefully you don't get permanent Alice isn't horny any more money. And maybe they'll cap it at 3, 5, 6, 7 years or something like that. I really hope that happens. And then you got the child support. That's an automatic thing. And the equations they use, I'm going to be honest, are made for people who are upper middle class when it comes to child support. All right, if you are far beyond that and you're making good money, that equation literally turns it into basically a double alimony payment. It is bullshit. Robin Williams was paying alimony for life to 2 ex-wives, to my understanding. We're talking millions upon millions of dollars a year. He was never going to get out of it because it was for life. You know, I can't tell you how many times I talk to guys who have to pay alimony but get hurt on the job and can't work. They miss some payments. They go right to jail.
That's some old bullshit.
Number 7. All right, they're going to try all this horse shit to get you to take the standard deal, which is every other weekend and maybe you get 4 hours on a Wednesday or Thursday night. That is absolute horse shit. 96 hours a month a father does not make.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Do not take this deal. Fight it tooth and fucking nail. All right? Listen, take it to a full goddamn trial. I can almost guarantee you if you're willing to do that and you don't blink or hesitate, I can pretty much think that roughly before the trial goes down, you're going to get what you want, a 50-50 custody. Of course, they're going to offer you that in the deal for money and more Alice's and horny or whatever. All right. That's up to you if you want to take that deal. Every man's different. I totally get it. When given a choice, children or money, you it's the children. But you don't want to be homeless or destitute. I got it. This is going to get nasty. She already is willing. She started at level 1 here. It's going to get worse.
For real, I'm actually being dead serious. Dead fucking serious.
Number 8. You are going to get hit with desperation and depression.
I'm so lonely.
Your mind literally processes that pain like a death. It is incredibly painful. There's no way around it, over it, under it. You're just going to have to go through it. I got a video out there called The Lens of Depression. I also have Pre-Divorce Mentality floating out there. They're comedy lectures I prepared for younger men. Because the system is radically unfair and it's killing men hand over fist. Now, I know you're familiar with the stats, but I myself was left homeless for a little over 6 months in 2008-ish, 2009. You know, I lived out of my car. You know, I slept in there pretty much 5 to 6 nights a week. And then once a week, I would go to a buddy's house to surf, you know, couch surf and take a shower and blah, blah, blah. And then the cycle would repeat.
Hey, you gonna finish those fries, bro?
Dude, I didn't even know you back then. Get out of here, you time-traveling hobgoblin.
I mean, literally everyone and their mother is dogpiling you. And this is not a dogpiling video. First of all, I consider myself a man of honor and integrity, and I typically don't kick a man when he's down. All right, that's unless I'm in a war, and then that's a different thing. But in civilized society, it's just not my thing. But I will tell you this: at some point in the future, once the numbers get released, or if somebody sends them to me, I am going to do a Pimp Tart Wife-stitute comedy divorce edition for you and how the whole thing unfolds. And I'm like the only comedian that's doing this when it comes to celebrity divorces. Of course, it's all in good fun. And you're a comedian. I'm a comedian. All right. Now, once you get through the desperation and the depression, you still might have a little bit of it. But once you see how poorly you're treated here and how the civilization doesn't have any consideration for you at all, you're going to wind up here. Red pill rage. And most of the guys who encounter the red pill rage are pissed off because they literally went their entire lives believing everything is going to be one way. And they are reinforced and told, yeah, that's the way it's going to be. Then you get hit with a divorce. You're outside that loop now. And you're going to be looked at as a wage slave cash cow. And typically it's worse for celebrities when they get divorced. All right. Now, I don't want to see you be consumed with this rage. It's very easy for that to happen, especially when emotions are running high, children are on the line and what have you, and it is what it is. All right, now, typically, when I see this happening, I try to intervene and help the dude out, at least counsel him so he understands what happened, why it happened, and the effects it's going to have on him. It's just like I'm doing for you right now. Now, you could take this with a grain of salt. I know I'm just some dude on the internet, okay, who claims he's a comedian. I am not a comedian like you, Mr. Crowder. It's completely different. You're a stand-up comedian. I've tried to do stand-up, on open mic nights, literally at the Ripley Comedy Shop in Royal Oak, Michigan. I signed up like 150 times to get up there and do 5 minutes of stand-up, and never got picked because I'm the wrong skin color, I have the wrong politics, and I speak the truth. But I will tell you this. All right. Doing comedy at a show, and I've been to quite a few, everyone shows up there, and I bet you a third of them already walk in the door whacked out on Mary Jane, Do You Wanna? Most of those places have a 2-drink minimum. So you're standing in front of a bunch of guys A large majority of them are high in marijuana, and they tend to laugh more, or they've been relaxed with alcohol. You know, I'm not taking anything away from you. But I did my comedy different.
Get ready for a surprise!
When I had to do my comedy, I did it in front of men who were paralyzed in terror, about to break in fear, confused, hopeless, broken. I had to stand in front of those men, tell jokes to get them to laugh. Because I knew if I could get them to laugh, I could break the spell of fear on them. And then after, I led those men into battle. That is what I did. And my method of comedy, you might not like it. It might be too vulgar, blah, blah. I don't care. That number up there, 515 men have come forward over the past 10 years to inform me my comedy and my philosophy kept them from scrubbing out their brain pan with a 44 Magnum or worse. All right. Like I've said before, I have given this exact same briefing to probably over 150 dudes in a 33-year career in the military. I know what I'm talking about here. Things might be a little different because I'm used to seeing people at the middle of the income pack to lower your upper income, so these numbers might switch around a little bit, but they're already trying to assassinate your character. All right. Now, there's another force at work here that I think I should inform you on. All right. Right now, what's going on in this country is a culture war, which in reality is a spiritual war between good and evil. Plain and simple. And the adversaries look at you as a powerful, individual who stands for truth, and they want to silence you, destroy you, and dare I say, kill you.
Embrace the suck.
That is unacceptable. All right? You are too important to the fight. I want you to remain calm. All right? And I understand you're going to have wild emotional swings left and right. I got it. I got it. It's not a big deal. But please, follow this last acronym. I call it CHILL. CHILLL. And that stands for calm, higher intelligence, latitude, meaning when shit changes on the ground, you can laterally move around to adapt to it. Laugh. Laughter. It's the best defense against the universe there is. It stumbles death. It angers evil. I mean, you can't go wrong there. And the last L is this. Live out of fucking spite. All right? Fuck them. You drive on and you do great fucking things because you have what it takes. I'm just an old retired first sergeant, physically broken by war, sitting at a studio that I created myself with my partner, Blake O'Kleiner. He's not here right now, or I'd have him on the show, but he's, home with his wife and kid, which is cool. Now, Mr. Crowder, I say this again. I am not going to kick you while you're down, and if need be, I will have your back. It won't be the first time an ex-Green Beanie first sergeant ran top cover for somebody. I've done it many times. All right, with that being said, please handle your business, remain calm, keep your emotions in check. You will get through this. All right? But don't roll over, fight tooth and nail, and don't take any shit. Those kids you have are too important.